Hello everyone. So I am getting ready to go out of the country. I'm really excited, but I do need a journal to take with me, a travel journal to work out of. So I have pulled a few boxes that we are going to create a travel journal. And the reason I'm creating more than one is because we are going with friends, and there will be two other ladies along that I will be hanging out with, and so I wanted to make one for them also. Interesting how they do that. There. I don't even need scissors to take this box apart. It's perforated. That's nice. Okay. Let's start from this end. Even that up here in a minute. Just trim these pieces. So I'm just going to grab some cutters and cut these other two boxes down to get them ready. Make sure my cuts on this are straight, and then we will move on. Supplies for today's project could include or not include various items. I am starting out with a mini fruit bar package that I got out of my pantry. That will be the base of our travel journal. Some random pieces of fabric, some tapes, some different tapes that I might use. I don't know, we'll see. This beautiful napkin, some scrap fabrics that I've pulled for this that just happened to be in my stash. Various papers. And I've got some music and just some different scrap papers. This, was just a postcard. So we have a few things to jump in here with. Let's see what else might be. Got this paper. Yeah, okay, so that's where we're going to start. Statement. To access a list of everything that I have used for this project, you can just check the description and everything should be listed there. And we have now gotten started. Sometimes it's hard to get started on this project whenever you're thinking about what you want to use and the color combinations and all those types of things. And normally what I do is I'll choose a color, and after I've chosen that color, rummage through all of my supplies that I have here and I will just add them all to that box. And then whenever I finish adding them all to that box, I will usually take a look and pull those pieces out one by one and group them together on the color schemes and everything that I think work really well together. And then I will actually leave it for a night to think about. Give myself time to sleep on it, and then go back and do it one more time the next day. And then, you know, usually I've had time to think. It's given me an idea of the tools I'm working with and the different fabrics and papers and all those things. And yeah, so that's just my process. It's pretty easy to follow, and I think sometimes, you know, you need to take a look at the things that you like, that you want to use, and then, you know, give yourself some time to sleep on it. Ideas, you know, come to, I don't know about you, but some of my best ideas come when I'm resting, in my dreams sometimes, but I have to give myself a little time to consider the project. If you find it complicated to get started on a project, then, you know, try that and see if that process works for you. You'll notice that I am not going to the very edge of these pieces of this book, and the reason is I do plan on putting a binding strip all the way around. Let's see, are there any other papers that I want to add into this? I do like these, but they are this is these were made with the, where you take the shaving cream and put the acrylic paints on there. So I have a lot of those papers. I think they turn out so neat. But let's go ahead and put that one back because I don't think it's going to work. This I think will work for sure. Some of this, so let's just maybe pull some of this. Let's pull some of this in. I like this one too, but I may use, maybe we'll use that one for an actual page. Okay, so let's take some material. I do like for my binding to match. So let's pick something we know we're going to have enough of. Definitely have enough of that. I don't think we'll have enough of this to do both. Let's see, this we would not, and this we would. I have to build that purple into there somehow. Maybe that would be a good place to put that one. are just tacking this down. Don't expect this glue to hold this material, but what we will do is we will take it over to the sewing machine and we will sew. We will be putting stitches all the way around, so we are not going to worry too much if that doesn't hold that down completely. We're not expecting it to. We'll just trim this up right here. Now we need to work on bringing some of these in, transitioning that pink to that purple. So let's just see about doing that right here. It's not hardly dark enough to even cover up that. Although, you know, we could take something and fix that. What do we think? That one's not fat enough to get there. are you doing? Are you working on one of these along with me? Or planning one? Just look and see how that's going. Okay, so there we go. What shall we do next? What shall we do next? One of the things I happen to have is an old encyclopedia. Well, a couple of them. I picked them up at a Goodwill. What a great place. The whole set was not there, but it is a fun resource for different things. So I do use it. It's falling apart, but I am going to pull some text from that based on where we are going. So here's one of the places we will be going on this trip, and here is the other one, Galapagos and Peru. So it's promising to be an amazing, amazing trip. But let's put some of this in here to outline. That is where we are going. I'm really so excited. I really hope to get to see some local craftspeople. I do know that one of the places along the way we will be stopping in an area that is known for weaving. So I'm really hoping to get to see that some of these ladies and gentlemen that are creating beautiful works of art through textiles. This is just not going to work very well today, is it? Let's see, what else do we want to use? Oh, you know, I didn't even glue that one down yet, did I? So let's go ahead and glue this guy down. The other thing I'm hoping to see, and I think it's Ecuador maybe. I'm hoping to get to a market that has these handmade pan flutes. I'm pretty sure that's what they're known for. One of the things they're known for. And I have a family member that loves anything musical. And that's one thing I'm actually hoping. I don't bring back a lot of gifts and things when I travel. I just don't. If I bring back anything, it has to do with food or coffee or The chocolate will be a good one. We will be doing a thing around chocolate, which I'm sure there will be chocolate coming back here to this household. Or it is local crafts, so I'm not normally out there looking for just t-shirts and things like that. I like to bring back something that is very specific to that area, which many of you I'm sure do the same thing when you travel. But should be good. Okay. Just take them through there. Okay, let's keep going. What else are we going to do with this guy? How about a piece of this gold? So, do you like to journal? I mean, whether it's, you know, creating a travel journal, or do you like to create journals either for travel, or I think a lot of people do just what they call junk journals. Do you do that? I'm assuming that if not, you're interested, because otherwise, why would you be watching this video? I don't like that right there. What if we bring some of you through there? That would be good, wouldn't it? Okay. So if you do, you know, what do you like to use? What are the mediums and textiles, and, you know, what do you like to use when you junk journal? I'd love to hear about it. Maybe incorporate, you know, your thoughts into something that I'm doing. It's always good to share ideas. We still have this little piece right here we could tie in. Let's try to use up some more scrappy things to. Nope, we've already got that. There's this. Does that even go? Oh, this guy. Certainly. What if we did something like this? This guy. Maybe. I don't know. If we did this, and then showed the back of the fabric, and then maybe the front of the fabric, the back of the fabric. What do you think? I think that would be a fun little embellishment. Possibly. Oh, I think that could be fun. Or maybe for the outer part of this. What if we did that right here instead? Kind of a crisscrossy thing for the piece that's going to be the cover. What do you think? I That could be fun. Let's do that. Okay. Let's cut this off first before we do that. Okay. That's a little bitty piece we could save for something maybe. Alright, let's just start right here. And then let's go back on yourself a little bit. Like I said, we are going to sew that, so it's not like this is going to be the only way that we're holding this together. Okay, that was just like the perfect size. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and sew that piece just because I'm scared I'm going to tear it apart if I don't. So let's do that real quick. Okay, as you can see, we just got a stitch in there just to hold that down. Well, not really temporarily, that will stay there, but while we're trying to finish working on the rest of this book. So I think this side is pretty much completed, and we just need a couple of little more elements for this inside piece. You know, what does that look like? Does that look like... Okay, so does that look like music? Oh, so. Wish I had more of this to tie this in together. All I've got left of that. I think it's all I pulled anyway, so let's go ahead and put that piece right there. And maybe we'll just pull part of this just to finish that off. A little more scrappy. Here we go, probably good enough. All right, so we have finished with our journal. Our main our main surface of our journal anyway, I should say. So let me pick up just a little bit because a messy workspace drives me crazy, and we will be right back to continue working through this. Okay, so to embellish some of this, I pulled some different washi tapes that I have. This one is actually Reuben Washi by Scotch. And you know, these pretty little tapes I picked up, I believe, at the dollar store. Not 100% sure, but anyway, I love these, and they don't have a name for where they came from. So let's just jump in. You can tell I love this one. I'm just about out of it. So let's just go in here and embellish a little bit with some of these tapes. I'm actually going to put another coat of that one so that you don't see through the blueberries. I really should have, and if I had time, I would have added some white gesso onto the main base of this, but I am in a time crunch. As a matter of fact, we're leaving today, and I have a couple of friends that are going with us on this trip, and I wanted to make them one, so I made theirs first. I made their books first, and it's kind of left me without one, which is great. You know, I'll be glad. I hope that they like the ones that I made for them, but it did put me in a little bit of a time bind as far as getting my own completed. You know, that's going to be, let's use this on this back too, because that's kind of dark. Look at that neat little texture that kind of adds to that piece. Let's see we'll just add some of this over the top of that to maybe even mask that a little bit more. That's cute. It kind of goes with that little flower motif right there. Let's see. There's already a lot of gold going on. I would like to use this one up. I'm about finished with it, and be nice to finish it up with this. Be nice to finish it up with this travel journal. So let's just maybe think about doing that. Okay, there we go. So put that there. And let's look at maybe doing another one of these. Oh, I'm going to be at the very end. I would kind of like to save a little of this for a page, an actual page. So let's put that one to the side. And let's look at this. Choose this one right here. Down through. Down through there. And Anywhere else I would like to put a little something something. Here. And maybe a something, a little something right there. I think I'm going to use this same one right there, just down. There we go. Okay, so I've got 2 tapes, and that I'm thinking about using to bind this instead of using a material. Got gold duct tape, and I've got this, which looks a little funky for some of these fabrics, doesn't it? So let's just try this is pretty wide. Is there something else that we'd rather use? You know what? I think we're going to use material. Let me just grab some material, and I'm going to sew binding all the way around and maybe even through some of the book, and then we will be right back. So we have just finished putting on some binding strips. You heard me say at the beginning of this, that is just, you know, I just love using material. I don't know. I'm just leaving all the strings on there. I like the strings. You know, if you're making this and you don't like the strings, just cut those puppies off. But otherwise, you know, I'm probably going to take that one. That's like a little wild hair. But the rest of these, probably just going to leave in place. Okay, so I had half thought about going in with some white gesso and kind of frou-frouing up these edges, but I love it the way it is. So we're going to leave it like this, and I'm going to go ahead and this is basically what it's going to look like when we get finished with the outside. But we need to make some pages to put in our journal. So let's get started on that process. So let's try to create a few pages for this journal. So I've cut some of the same papers that I used for the binding. Let's see, and which was these also, and these pieces that we can use for something here in a little bit. And let's just get to making some pages. So I would like to make a couple of little pockets, you know, in case I have, you know, some tickets or something like that that I want to save. So we are going to take, I did put up my glue stick for this one. I just think that sometimes, you know, a little glue goes a long way, or we may even end up putting a stitch in it, but let's just get this piece glued down. That'll be a page, so I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 pages right here. So let's see what else we can do just to make this kind of cute. Since these are so, there's not really a lot of place to write, I think we'll add one of these stickers to this piece just to have a little place to take some notes. Maybe let's eyeball it. Is that pretty good, you think? Maybe. Let's just put that right there. Maybe something to the inside here. What would be fun to add? The inside, I've got this spare little piece of music notes, which isn't bad. You know, I could sew on a little piece of fabric. Let's see what else we've got over here that looks like fun to play with. Let's glue this guy down. This guy. Maybe we'll use some of these tapes. You know, and this is just something, this is just some tape that I picked up at the dollar store at some point. This is going to stick whenever I lay it down. Let's see if we can get it done. It's so sticky. Alright, well, I think we're gonna have to go this way, so let's move this to the side for just a minute. And let's put it at the bottom. Oh goodness, it already stuck. Just fold this up. We'll have two sides. Extra off. Just cut a little bit of it off, and we'll leave a little kind of just hanging over the side. Why not? Let's bring this back over here for a minute. Why don't we just sew you down the side of this guy? Maybe put one of these. I have a feeling we could use that somewhere again. Okay, so let's move you back here. Let's see what else we have to work with. What is always fun? Let's see what we've got right here. We've got Gopher. I like the moon. I do want to use the moon somewhere. Let's put that over there. Play with your food. I had made these a few weeks ago to prepare for this trip. Something to maybe embellish it a little bit. How about this? This is the very last of this. even not all of it's all that great because where it's located. Let's see if we can maybe make that work. Plenty of room to kind of doodle and draw and experiment and all those kinds of things. So we always want to have some blank space when we're working on these. And let's make some more. This one is actually watercolor paper. So let's add some watercolor paper in here to be able to experiment with. Where we put this guy right here. This is by Chernowski. Just in case you're wondering, Chernowski. It's just absolutely beautiful. That was the only reason I bought that box of, it was a box of matches. And I bought it because of this beautiful owl that Chernowski did for it. So let's just see about adding this guy onto one of these pages. I've really got to get to the point where I'm finishing this up because we are about ready to go to the airport. That is how behind I am on actually creating this. But it'll be okay. It'll be okay. Just gonna set him down here in the corner. And then I need to give the artist credit somewhere on here. I do like this tape. We are going to use one section just to put on this, one of these pages, I think. I'm gonna put it right here. Then we can bend it over. Personality coming through. Maybe another little pocket, since that seems to be about the right size. Nope. Let's use you. Let's use you, big guy. Alright, so thinking I will do this right here. And we will bring you around to here. And then that should add just a little more security for that little pocket. Like that almost heaven one. What do you think? Maybe? Okay. This is making me think that I should be saving every postcard mailer that I get to use in this way. That would be kind of handy, wouldn't it? This one just happens to be Biltmore. So, you see that beautiful picture, how nice of them. I have this one that's almost like pre-made, which is perfect. Got both sides. Looks like a little travel postcard and some little papers and things. So let's just see what we can do with this. I do like this, although I have no bloom in here. It's in our Nature Curiosity. I like that one. Explore is good. How about this Explore? It's a nice little neat one. We just put you right here. Maybe we put you on the outside of this. And a few other things, like I've got this bird that I was working on that might be fun just to have in there. I don't know. Make him a nest. I don't know if we have anything, and I don't have enough time to figure that out, so let's just glue him down, and we'll have him on there and something else just to kind of I don't know, maybe ends up being a starting point for something, or this mermaid onto here. She could be cute, couldn't she? We're just going to call this a day. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Okay, so we're about to put the binding on this book, and I am really having to hurry because our ride to the airport is on the way, and you talk about cutting it to the last second today. However, this deadline has probably gotten me through this project a little more quickly than I would have normally gotten through it, so I don't know if that's a bad thing. There are a few things I would have liked to have done different that I can already tell you that, you know, but sometimes, you know what, you just don't have time to get everything done, and that's okay. It's just, especially with something like this, I'm going to continue to work on it while I'm on my trip, which is, you know, probably the saving grace, is that it will I'll continue to paint and take notes and do all these different things that are going to continue to add to this journal, which is part of the fun of traveling with something like this. So I hope that if you are getting ready to go on a trip, you might consider doing something like this for yourself. If you have stuck around to this part of the video, I have to imagine that you are a crafter, or that you're wanting to start doing some crafts. So I encourage you just to, you know, just jump in there and get something started. And this is a great place to do it. This is, if you like to travel, you know, it's good to have a journal with you. So, and it's something that you can work on during your down moments. When you're, you know, waiting or sitting at the hotel or just enjoying a peaceful moment to yourself. Something like this is just perfect for that. So I hope that you will choose to follow my page if you have enjoyed this video, and then maybe check out a few more that I've got online. But until the next time, actually my ride just showed up. So until next time, I hope that you will get out there and create something, make it yours, and just, you know what, enjoy the whole process of doing it. Until the next time, bye.